Welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about HRV or ventilation wall control. In this one, we are using model Lifebreath Digital Control 99-TXPL02. In this one, first I'll talk about the display options and then we'll go through each button options. So the first one here is the fan speed, which means that your HRV will be running with a certain fan speed as you set it to here. The second number here is 34% RH. So this is the relative humidity inside your house, which means it's a live humidity number that's being recorded by the system. This one says off. We'll come to that option later. Now here are two little numbers. So this is an automatic setting. So we'll go through each of the buttons now in detail and you will understand these display numbers more. So the first button here is a power button, which means it's used to turn on and off the system. But even if you turn it off, your washroom timers, which may be 20, 40, 60 minute timers, or they can be the automatic humidity sensor ventilation fan timers, they will still work even though your ventilation system on the wall here is off. The second use of this one is that when your system indicates a service maintenance sign, which will be somewhere here, it will be a tiny wrench sign. That means your HRV filter need to be cleaned or your HRV system needs some kind of maintenance. So once that's done, just put it off, and when you're turning it on, hold the system for 5 seconds. It will reset your HRV control. The second option here is your fan speed. So once you press this button, the fan here will change from 0 to 5. So if I put it to 0, that means your system will be on standby. Your HRV system won't work, but it's waiting for your fan speed to be increased and then it will start working. That when you press it, so you can set up a speed between 1 to 5. In that one, again, as I explained before, that the HRV fan will be running with that speed and your ventilation will be according to that one. The third button here is 20, 40, 60 minute timer. So if you see, there is a timer for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. That means once you press that option, you are wanting immediate refreshment in your house. So it's more similar to your washroom timers that you can use after the shower. So this one can be used after the cooking, or if you're back from vacation, like you were away for 2 weeks and you just came back and your house need a fresh air, so you can use that one. Or if you're having a small gathering or a party, so you can just run that for a number of minutes and it will refresh your house. Now the fourth button is a setting sign here, so which will be automatic ventilation system settings. But before I talk about this one, I will be quickly talking about a humidity, which is here. Now we'll talk about the humidity first. So in this one, this is the number that you have to look for while deciding what humidity is in your house. Plus, it also depends what weather is there outside. So if it's summer and it's raining, this number will be way higher, closer to 60, 65, 70%, which you can't control much because the moisture is higher in the air, right? So you open the windows, doors, and then when your furnace or your HRV system is ventilating, it's bringing the moisture-rich air from the outside and it's putting in your house. So your moisture inside the house will automatically go up. So in summer, you don't have to worry about it much. But in winters, depending on the weather outside, so if the temperature is +5, 0, -5, -30, that humidity should be controlled. So I'll be attaching a chart, which is a recommended humidity level inside your house with reference to the outside temperature. Plus, I will talk about it a little bit, so you can also screenshot that table and it will help you out as well. So for example, if the outside air is -30 Celsius or below, your interior humidity should not be more than 15-16%. So it should be closer number to 15. And if the temperature outside is between -24 or -25 to -18 degrees, then your interior humidity should be about 20%. Now, as the temperature is going closer to 0 degrees, your humidity can be higher, but it should not be higher than 35 or 40%. Because if it's way higher than this, your floor may squeak, your walls may get moisture drops, then you may see that your paint is having moisture stains, and your drywall may expand and contract depending on that number. So please follow the recommended chart as I attached in the video. Plus also keep one thing in mind, that these numbers are just recommendation levels. So the factors like number of adults living in the house, the number of showers, amount of cooking, these all factors also affects the moisture inside your house. So now we'll talk about the automatic ventilation settings. So the first option that on the display is 10 minutes per hour on, and then for 50 minutes it will be on standby. So this means your ventilation will be happening for 10 minutes every hour, and for 50 minutes it will stay on standby. So this option can be used if there are low occupants in the house, or if the house is newly built and it's ready to sell. Plus also this can be used when it's summer. So you don't need much ventilation during the summer because the windows are open a lot, right? So that makes your house to naturally ventilate. Also, this option is good when the temperatures are above 10 degrees. That means anything above 10 degrees, this option can be used all the time. Plus, it's your choice if you don't want to use the HRV system in summers. Now, the second option we are going to talk about is 20 minutes on, 40 minutes standby option. So if you see the arrows coming in for 20 minutes, which means the house is ventilating, and for 40 minutes it's off, so it's on standby. So this option is good for early winters or spring season, which means you can use it September, October, November, and in the spring it can be March, April, or May. So this option is very good when your house doesn't have much of a moisture issue yet, because the temperature outside is normal, and then plus your windows, you're not opening windows that much, but you're still able to ventilate it naturally. So this option is very good. So it will ventilate your house 20 minutes, and 40 minutes it will be on standby. Now we'll talk about the third ventilation system option, which is 20 minutes on, 40 minutes recirculation option. In this one, if you see the arrows coming in and going out for 20 minutes every hour, which means your house will be ventilating for those number of minutes, and then the next 40 minutes in that hour the air will be recirculating inside your house. This option is useful when your interior moisture is rising, your outside temperature is dropping, and you're experiencing a little bit of condensation on your windows. So now your ventilation will be for 20 minutes. The 40 minutes recirculation air helps the air to have a continuous flow, which means the moisture in the air doesn't have enough time to freeze onto the cold surfaces, for example, your windows. So this is a good way to reduce condensation and keep your house ventilated. Now we'll talk about the fourth ventilation option. So this one is continuous ventilation option. This option can be used if you want to drastically reduce your moisture inside the house. For example, this number is reached 50-55%, and your windows are having a thick layer of ice. So now what you do is you use the continuous option. So now what's happening is your inside air is having a lot of moisture, outside air is at -15, -20, -30, and it's dry. So when you run this option, the ventilation system brings the drier air inside your house. Now it's bringing the drier air, and your moisture air that's inside the house is going out. So that will decrease the moisture inside your house. This will take some time, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours, but this will help to reduce your moisture inside the house, and it will help you with the condensation. Also, this option can be used if you're having a party or a gathering and you want a continuous ventilation and your house will feel fresh. Now we'll talk about the fifth and last automatic ventilation system option, which is continuous recirculation option. So if you see in this one, the arrow is staying inside the house, which means your inner air will be recirculating all the time. So this option can be used, for example, if you have air conditioning in the house and would like air to circulate without bringing the outside air, which means you're just circulating the colder air inside the house. So just to keep it in mind that this option is not bringing the fresh air from outside, so your air inside the house may not feel the fresh, or you may feel a suffocation. So this option is not advisable to use for a long period or overnight, because ventilation is most important. Now I will set this option back to 20 and 40 minutes. Now we'll talk about fifth button, which is De-Humidistat button. So before I talk about this, I will talk about humidity first. So most of the issues in the house can be solved, especially related to the humidity or the moisture issues, by just having a good ventilation system. So as I explained, these options, the 5 options I explained, so your house can stay in very well shape if you take care of it. But sometimes it happens that your moisture inside the house will rise a lot, and then you may see some more issues other than the condensation on the windows. For example, you're seeing a mold buildup in the corners of your windows, or there are some cold parts in your house where you see mold. So that can be related to the higher moisture content. So in that case, this De-Humidistat option can be used. So just also refer to the recommended humidity chart, so you can maybe relate to that one, how low you can go with reference to the outside air. Now we'll talk about how to run De-Humidistat option. So for example, you see 60% here, and in the house you're having condensation issues, you are having mold and mildew issues. So now what you do is you put this number to 45 and let your ventilation system run. So what it does is it will bring your humidity down from 60 to 45, right? So, and then once the humidity here is reached 45, then you can reduce it down to 30, 31. Don't change the humidity here or De-Humidistat your house very aggressively. What it does is it won't give your house enough time to set to the new humidity level. So give it 1 or 2 days to drop down from 60 to 30, so your house will have enough time to adjust accordingly. Plus, this option will, once you put your humidity level low, your HRV system will ventilate your house, which means your HRV system will be continuously working, and then your house temperature, you may feel a little cold, but don't worry about it. Your ventilation system is just running and doing its job. So give it some time, and then it will reduce your humidity. So just to use this option, please refer to the recommended table that I explained earlier in this video. It will help you a lot. Now the last button, which is a reset button. So what it does is if you press it, the HRV settings will be set back to the default options. For example, let's do this. So those are default settings, so I will put them back to the normal the settings that I use. Plus, sometimes it doesn't happen often, but once in a while the wall unit starts blinking. So, and then you can change the settings. So sometimes that's an error. What you can do is just remove the unit from the wall like this and then put it back. So once you put it back, within few seconds, it will reset and it will start to the normal settings as you had set it. Okay, hope this video will help you to understand your HRV wall panel more. So if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.